Okay, hi and welcome back. This is my third video trying to get some success with the Orenda coffee maker. If you're part of the group on Facebook, and I know a lot of you, the group keeps growing and growing. I think it's close to 200 members. There's been a lot of discussion of the machine. I mean, it's finally shipped and people have it. And the last video I did, I actually didn't have the app. And so this third video here, I'm going to try to take you through setting up the app and see if it makes a difference in terms of the brew. If you remember that first video I did, I was concerned not just because I didn't have the app, and a lot of us I think purchased this machine because of the functionality to be able to customize the coffee. But the concern was that just the taste of the coffee was so weak, and that continues to I think be a concern. So what I'm doing this time is I've put some light roast beans in as they've suggested. In my first video I was talking about how I prefer a French roast bean, but we're going to try it with the light roast to see if that makes any difference. The other thing I wanted to say was I was trying to fill the water today, and I was actually trying to keep my surface clean here, and I used a couple different pouring devices, and I continue to find this to be a little frustrating just in terms of the design. I mean, it's just really hard to fill the water in this particular slot here. So I don't know. I think they were probably interested in the aesthetics of this and keeping it sleek and so forth, but from a functionality standpoint, it's just somewhat challenging. So I thought, let me move over. I have a second camera set up here on the app. So the app finally dropped a couple days ago in the Mac store, the iOS store, so I was able to download it. And what I'm going to try to do is to set up the Wi-Fi. So right now the light is flashing green, and it's saying on here that the Orenda is disconnected. So I'm going to click on Set up Wi-Fi. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and by the way, when you download the app, they will ask you to put in your email address and then also create a password. So it's kind of like other apps in that sense. Now I'm wondering if it's not detecting that the Orenda is powered on. I think what you do is just swipe from one screen to the next. Indicator light should be blinking blue. It's still blinking green. Okay, so we're going to So I ended up using, again, I was using my phone to record this. I actually logged into the app on the phone. So for some reason on the iPad it's not working. I don't know why. I mean, it should be the same app, and I've never had that issue. Okay, so go to Wi-Fi setting, make sure Wi-Fi is turned on, choose the network below. Once connected, return to this app. Okay, so I have to go to my Wi-Fi setting. Okay, and that is going to be here, right? Orenda. So click on that. And it says on the top, your phone is connected to Orenda. Tap to continue setup. Okay. Okay, so I had to select my home Wi-Fi network, and it's trying to connect. It says your device is connecting. Okay, wait for device. Okay, setup complete. You've set up your Orenda. Name your new device. I think I'm only going to have one Orenda in a lifetime, so I think we'll call it Orenda. Okay. If this is the first time you're setting up this device, it might blink its LED. This means it's currently updating its firmware. Okay, understood. So now the Wi-Fi is back to, the Wi-Fi indicator on the device is back to green. No added bean, click to add now. It does say normal here, so that's new. Okay, click to add now. What do I click? Oh, I guess I click down there. Okay, so we'll call this, I guess this is where we name our bean. Apologize if this is a little out of focus. As I said, I had intended to use the iPhone to record. So, okay, so let's see, pour over. I'm going to customize. Let's see if I can choose something else. Let's see. This is one of the things I think that was interesting to me about the app was the ability to customize things. So presumably, after you brew, you can click on the strength, the caffeine, and the bitterness. So I just know for me, I like really strong coffees, and since I'm using a light bean, I'm just clicking more in there anyway. Maybe it'll make it darker or something like that. Okay, so I guess the thing I would do is click on brew now. So let's try that. Warning, please prepare the brewing chamber and a cup before we proceed. Okay, I think we're okay with that. We're going to proceed. Okay. Okay, so it just started. I'm on the app here, and sorry, my camera, I have to refocus every time here, but it says your coffee is brewing now. It's in step 2. If you look at what happened, it's just sitting in there. It brewed like, or it ground the coffee beans, and so again, I'm brewing this just in my garage, and you can see actually this wasn't an intention. I just wanted to have a neutral background when I was doing this video, but you can see just like all the coffee that is everywhere, and it literally has gone like, I mean, I've got some back here, so you can see when I get close here, you've got significant just the bean residue is all over the side and the back of the machine. I mean, it's just filthy. It got on the top, and then if you look below, it basically goes out from the machine more than a foot away. So you see just all these the residue, and as you just look around the machine, it's covered the whole area. There's some here and here, and you can see because we have a dark background that it's spewing beans everywhere. So that's issue one. Issue two is it stopped. So again, on the app, it's saying your coffee is brewing, and all it's done is grind the beans up, and then it just completely stopped. So I don't know what to do. I've got water in the machine. It did the grinding. I don't know. Okay, so it's saying on here, this is a little confusing. It's saying my coffee is ready, so it's showing step 3. What just happened, I don't know what happened, is all of a sudden the grinder turned on again, and I thought maybe it was going to grind some more coffee, but I hear, okay, so I do hear the chamber. It appears like the water's heating up, so I think we should maybe get some coffee here, perhaps. Okay. It's actually filling up with water. Yeah, anyway, as I said before, I sound like a broken record, but it's just looking at all this mess. I mean, it's my coffee cup is covered in coffee beans. They're all over the machine. So there's that mysterious piece of plastic, which I don't have out here, but I know people were hypothesizing that if that were up against here, it would prevent some of this from happening. But I mean, I can't imagine that it's going to prevent all the spillage of the beans. It's just so crazy how much of that is all over the place from the brewing. But let's see what happens with the coffee. Again, I don't know, the machine is doing something, but if you have the app here, or if you see my app, the app is actually saying that the cycle is already completed, right? It's saying here I can customize it, but the app thinks that the machine already brewed the cup of coffee. So I guess we'll have to see what is happening. It's filling with water, the chamber. I have to say, for people who've been commenting on the Facebook group, I totally agree that the amount of beans used, I mean, this was pretty full. And I guess you can't see, let me tilt the camera up a little bit. You can see it a little better, but this, the chamber was pretty full. And now it's almost like completely to the bottom. So it seems like it uses a lot of beans to brew a cup of coffee, which, could be a concern just in terms of the, the cost of it. You don't necessarily want to use up half a bag of beans to brew 1 cup of coffee. So I don't know. The other thing, and I took some video of that, I think probably in post-production, play that for you, but when the grinder was going, and this is not on a kitchen countertop, it's just a platform here out in my garage, but this was really rattling pretty loud. A lot of people I know were commenting on Facebook saying that it's been really loud for them in terms of the grinder. So I don't know if that's normal, if that's the design. We are still in the phase here where it's doing its recirculation. If you've read online, people have commented on how the water seems to recycle. So the murky water is doing its thing. A lot of, as I've noticed in the past, a lot of the beans are clumped up on the left side, and so it's filling the water. And I guess now it will dispense the coffee. So it is doing its thing. was just trying to check. It's definitely spurting. It spurred a lot of coffee kind of all over here again. So it's kind of going at the beans. There are just spots everywhere. Again, I wasn't necessarily trying to look at the effect, but again, if you have a countertop, do you really want all this stuff all over your counter? So this is the coffee, and it smells. Let's see here. I'll pour it in a glass, and then maybe you can see. It's definitely darker than the last time. I could maybe just have a glass here so you can kind of check out. Let's do a comparison. The last time, it's probably hard to make out the color on the video. And as far as the taste, I mean, it's not my favorite cup of coffee. It does taste a little better than the last time. So maybe the app had an effect on it. Again, it could be the beans that potentially I'm using. I'm using a lighter roast bean this time. But I don't know. I guess my concern now is just the amount of spillage of both water and beans on the surface here when you're brewing, the noise from the grinder, and then, as I said, the app was inconsistent. It somehow didn't know when the coffee was brewing. It thought it was done, and it was actually still brewing. It did brew the cup of coffee. So again, I guess what I could do is go back to my app and do the customization, and maybe I can see if I can improve on the recipes in the future. So I don't know. I have the app here, as some of you do. I'm kind of curious about if you're on the Facebook group, your experiences with the app. I'm wondering, for example, the Explore, the community. There isn't a lot, it seems like, you could do on this app. It looks like you can add new recipes. It has a possibility here for French press. It has the pour over, and it has the cold brew. So this is, if this does work, I think this will be cool, because this is a totally new approach to coffee that probably a lot of us aren't used to as far as the customization. But I'm still wondering about the quirks with the device. So I think that's it for now. I think those of you out there on Facebook, you can give your commentary on how the app is working for you. Maybe you've had some better luck with it, and I'd also be curious to hear about the issues with the spillage of the beans everywhere on your countertop. So that is it for now. Happy coffee experiences, and maybe I will see some of you and read your commentary on the Orenda Facebook group.